Hey everybody, Adam Savage in my cave with a really cool one-day build that comes about because of my friend Kevin Kelly. If you don't know who Kevin Kelly is, you should stop and Google him right now because Kevin is really important to the world you live in. He started working with Stewart Brand on the Whole Earth catalog back in the 60s, helped found Wired magazine. Kevin has been a part of all of the most important parts of the internet and specifically social justice aspects of it since its inception. He's an exceptional human and a good friend, and I love the man. And he recently sent us at Tested this beautiful kit of Zometools to make a thing that they call the Hyperdo. He said that their instructions are a little bit confusing, so he included his own build instructions for this. But I am not one to shy from a challenge, so I would like to try doing it from their instructions, not from Kevin's. But here's the thing you don't know about me. Take a look at this picture. This is my office in 1996. I was working for a company called Zoob. Zoob made building toys based on ball and socket joints, designed and invented by Michael Joaquin Gray, a wonderful artist out of New York. I was their director of R&D for a year and a half. And the balls and sockets could meet under many different conditions. And thus I realized you could make all of the platonic and the other kind of polyhedra. So within the world of three-dimensional geometry, there is this class of objects called regular solids. And these are solid objects made up of sides that are all the same. So the smallest one of these is a tetrahedron made of four equilateral triangles. So all four sides are identical. And when you join them, it creates a four-sided regular solid. The next one up is a cube. After a cube is a I believe you can also make an octahedron. Six-sided? Yeah, I'm not going to remember the full taxonomy of Platonic and Archimedean solids. That's the other one, Archimedean. Suffice to say that I have built all of them. I've even built some great stellated and truncated versions of the Archimedean and Platonic solids. This is an area that I find particularly fascinating, the making of spherical objects by adjusting line lengths and vertices and the ways in which vertices connect to each other. And this seems like a big fat excursion into just that. So here we go. Here we go, Zometools. I have not played with this toy in a long time. So different lengths of the lines. These are the vertices. They themselves are based on a platonic solid. They look to be dodecahedral. That is 12 pentagons. 12, yeah, 12. Okay, let's see about this Hyperdo. Is that a picture of Bucky Fuller? Whoa! Okay, it looks like I'm going to be making 2, 4, 6, 8. It looks like I might be making, is that really feasible? Wow. It looks like this is a bunch of assembled dodecahedrons. Okay. Kevin's right. This is confusing. Okay. Red cell, yellow cell, blue cell. It's made up of 120 dodecahedral cells joined face to face. Flat blue cell. That's what those are. Okay. How many flat blue cells? This is graphically intense. They're trying to tell me how to build this without. Oh. So is that it? Is there one dodecahedron in the middle? And then it's joined by 12 flat red cells. Is that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's 12 flat red cells. And then on the outside of that go what looked to be, is that another 12? Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So the one issue I'm having here, how many of these freaking things do I make of each one of these? All right. The difficulty here is that some of these join others, which means they're not all complete. But I'm going to start with the dodecahedron. I'm going to start with that. ooh, things that roll, things that roll. By the way, the wonderful people at Zometools sent this to us here at Tested at Kevin's request. So I want to thank Paul Hildebrand, the CEO of Zometools, for this delightful gift. And let's see if I can't build it. Okay. All right. 5 blues, 5 yellows. Oh, there's different sizes of yellows. 5 little long yellows. Wow, the graphical language of this is... I love this toy, but this is intense. Okay, so the yellows go in like this. Wait. Nope, they don't. They go in like this. That's it. Got it. All right, it's this whole... Do I have it? That kind. Yep. Okay. Rules and conditions. Rules and conditions. Okay, there's that. And this. Yep. Ooh. Okay. That is the first cell. Great. Now I add a whole bunch of long yellows, 15 of them. Come on, one more. There it is. Okay. So definitely know that those are all the ones I'm using there. And I think I'm putting one in every triangle. Is that the case? So every single triangle gets one. These shapes are really hard to visualize inside your head. That's one of the things that I find so delightful about them mathematically, is that once you actually build them and you do start putting them in your head, you start seeing the parity between them, because there are ways in which their vertices create shadows and cast faces, and there are shapes that are said to have parity because one is the shadow of another. It's just a very, very cool whole excursion when you start to go down this road. The first dodecahedron I ever made was in Vinnie Albano's art class in 4th grade. My art teacher at the Winfield L. Morse Elementary School in Tarrytown, New York, was Vinnie Albano, who was the brother of Captain Lou Albano, famously known as wrestling promoter and manager. Worked with Andre the Giant. You might also, those of you who are my age, would remember Captain Lou from Cyndi Lauper's videos. He's the one with rubber bands hanging from his face. Yeah. I remember hearing about Captain Lou from my art teacher. So that's plus 15, plus 15. Now there's 25. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 25. Okay. These all do go in very specific locations. And these will create the 12 faces of this internal dodecahedron. All right. Oh my gosh, that was totally not clear. That was a thing. All right, here's what I figured out from the first step is, yes, you are building a dodecahedron, and the long yellow struts are simply to give you the structure to build it, and then once you've built it, you remove that structure. It could have been clear. And I don't mean to denigrate the people who designed this. They've got to design this to work in every language. Like I said, I worked at a building toy company, and instructions are the hardest hidden part of selling and making and distributing a building toy. The instructions are horrendous, very, very difficult. And the gold standard is Lego. they're just incredible. But with every new tool, you have to establish rules. You have to get people to wrap their head around those rules. So while I am giving a small critique that was not clear, I'm also giving the full caveat that I understand how difficult this task that they set about to do, which is to make a set of instructions to build a very complex object and make them readable by almost anybody in any language. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay. Flat red cell. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay. So there's flat red cells and then thin red cells, and there's two totally different things. That's 1 and 3. All right, it's not that clear. Okay, flat red cell, and I think I need 12 of these. All right, let's just try building one, and we're going to see how we attach it. But presumably one will attach to each of these 12 faces. These are 12 pentagonal faces. Yeah. Oh, these are... Get yourself a Zometools and just start making Archimedean and Platonic solids. It's endlessly fascinating. There are still plenty that haven't been done, I'm positive. There are so many ways to execute them. All right, let's move on to fat red cell. 6 of those. 5 of those. And 5 of these. And we do this. Oh, these go in the hexagons. Oh, and this is structure I'm pulling out. Amazing, amazing. Okay, I'm not sure I need to do that. Well, let's see if I can actually figure out what I need to do on my own. Yeah, okay, so I don't need the structural building tool. Thank goodness. It's nice that they keep on suggesting that they're doing that, but boy, yeah, okay. So off of this, I need 5 medium yellows. Not going to get ahead of myself. Ah, that's how it works. All right. Okay, great. 5. Then, again, I don't need to worry about the orientation once I know that if it goes into a triangle, it's doing the right thing. And one goes in every one of these, right? Yes. And then there's 5 more of these that each get like this. Like this. Yeah. Okay. And then these go like this, right? Is that right? Yep. And then, that's, oh, okay, I see. Okay, so then these guys, 1, and then there's a second blue. Okay, let's see if I can do this. What have the Irish ever done to make you hate us so much? That is a line from Angie, I says. A great romantic comedy starring Stephen Ray and Gina Davis. And I would assume, yes, that the same rule applies. 5 triangles. Yeah, okay, so I need to build 22 of these. That is a fat red cell. Now, the fat red cells attach, okay, so the fat red cells, blue face to blue face, which means that every one of my fat red cells needs to be missing. Oh, wow, crazy. This is intense. Okay, so we pull this, 3, 4, 5. Let me do this, 5. Okay, so I definitely need 12 of these. Let's get them going. I'm at this interesting point in which I've attached a fat red cell to each side of the blue dodecahedron, and now I need to attach, that's 2, and now there's 10 that go around here. And these 2 are the easiest ones because I only need to remove one face from each to attach to this. But with each successive one of these, it's not so simple. And so I kind of have to wrap my head around this business, right? I think that. Is that correct? Yes, I think that is correct. So I think that goes there. Wait a second. Right, that goes there. Like that. Yep. And then the yellow one comes in. Yeah, so this is just more and more stitching while keeping my eyes on the right prize. Oh my God. This is complicated. That's okay. It's only going to get more complicated. And that is another fat cell. So another way to think about this is that with each of these fat cells, I'm simply projecting a face farther outward. So here's one of the faces of my dodecahedron. Here's a face covered by a fat cell, and here's that face extended out. Does that make sense? It's probably difficult to see on this, but if you were doing this along with me, it would be clear.
Okay.
All right, I have passed step 1 of the fat red cells. And what this is this is an extended, this is 2 dodecahedrons, right? There's one in the middle, and then there's one outer here with the same size faces as the one in the middle. Each one is pushed out. Now I'm trying to figure out how these thin cells attach to this. So I'm assembling a few thin cells, and I will learn about them. So it's that, right? That goes one. And that's another, and they're connected by those guys. That's nice. They stitch together well. Good. Now I understand how these shapes assemble. I have 2 of these, and the question is, these, right, there are 12 of these final shapes. Oh, right, it's just that. Ah, okay. So each of these, that sits like this, right? And then this one sits like this. So what all right. Right, these are the vertices, right? So each of these describes the center of a vertice. There are 20 vertices. Okay, so there's 20 of these. 20 of these. I need to make 20 of these. And I get rid of these guys because I just need 20 of those. 1, 2, right? Mostly I need 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm proceeding with each step without really understanding how the next step is going to work, which is, it feels a little like jumping around in the dark, but it's also like, I mean, look, that may be why they were circumspect about their instructions, is that it's a learning tool. I get that. I get that part. It's still a little confusing, but we're barreling down on the solutions. This is going to be a beautiful piece when it's done. I'm going to hang it up there next to my celestial sphere Fawn Davis gave me those many years ago. I think we can keep assembling some more of these. There's at least 20 of these central cells, right? So each one of these, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then lots of chunks of these are going to be coming out as they're joining to each other, and I don't need every piece, right? So as I join 2 together, I remove the pieces that overlap. And that just means I'll have this surplus of stuff, which is good. I know it's hard to see that it makes sense, but now I've gotten to understand exactly how these yellow cells go on. The yellow cells each describe a vertice turned 1/3 of a circle. And the way you know you're going correctly is when these blue pentagons, the 12 of them that describe the outside of the second dodecahedron, are still visible. So now I'm just going to be stitching it in using all of these bits and bobs and pieces. Okay, campers. Oh, yeah. Remember how I said some solids have parity with each other? Do you see how I spin this and you see lines appear? Yeah, that describes some of the geometrical projections that happen through a shape like this. Sorry. Hold on. I know I shouldn't blow my nose with a paper towel, but I'm filming. So I'm about to add the last step, which is 12 of these. This is the thin red cell, and the thin red cell sits here the thin red cell sits on top of each of the 12 faces. And this is the final button down step, there is this thing about the flat blue cell, which I'm confused about. The flat blue cell. The problem they had in the instructions here is that you can't just say, make 12 of these and then put them on. Actually, on this last step, you can, but it's the first and last steps are the only steps in which you can do that. Actually, no, the first step isn't even, right? Because the first step I had to build something, then take it apart in order to end up with the structure that I needed. So for each of these, where you have two faces that join, you have parts that come out where they join. And that makes this a very complicated piece to explain how to build in instructions. But that is the first of the 12 final faces, and I am about to just button them on in. Okay, that's good. This is a beautiful shape, the Hyperdo. I forgot how much I love the Platonic and Archimedean solids. They are all beautiful, and it always feels like an achievement to make one. Always feels like something super beautiful. And then I think about making a house out of one, and I think about Bucky Fuller and how he'd go to universities, and he'd go to, from what I understand, Buckminster Fuller used to go to universities with a plan to give like a week of lectures, and he'd arrive and be like, yeah, no lectures. We're actually just going to build a giant GSIG dome. Find me some struts and some wire and some bolts, and let's build one that's like 70 feet high. Like, seriously, he would just push people to just do something that they didn't think was possible. I love that. I love showing up with a different plan than you've told. And it's much more involved, and getting everyone to do something they didn't think was feasible. That's kind of an amazing magician sort of moment. I mean, actually, it's almost shamanic when you think about engineering, right? He's your Fuller was the shepherd for a whole generation of engineering students into a world of the possible, right? Like, has anyone ever thought about what buildings weigh? Like, no, yes and no. Yeah, it always ends up with a discussion of Buckminster Fuller when you get to this stuff. He was an incredible intellect. I would have loved to have met that man. That is the Hyperdo. Whoa! Ooh, oh, that's neat. That's neat. That's neat. Okay, here we go. I'm left over with a few extra little parts and pieces. Oh my God. I now just want volumes of this stuff. Okay, yeah, see this? Look, every time you see a line up here, that is part of the see? See that? Look at that. By doing this, just using, okay, so that's the, oh, hi. Hi, everybody. Oh, right. So each time you see these lines appear, it's revealing all these hidden geometries. You know what this reminds me of? Anybody who's had the pleasure of driving through farm country knows that as you drive past rows and rows and rows of planted things, you see these geometric. It's okay for me to sneeze in the open air. I'm the only one in this space today. Although I know the vision of it might be triggering. I apologize. Okay. This is beautiful. Kevin Kelly, thank you so freaking much. Zometools and Paul Hildebrandt, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. This is, while I talked about the difficulties I had with the instructions, I think of this as just the right amount of frustrating. Because all you have to be is careful and methodical, moving from one step to the next. You won't be able, I was not able to understand the complete build until I completed it, right? Yeah, I was not able to understand. So you won't understand this as you're going into it. And you just have to plod forward. And, that was just about 90 minutes, 2 hours from scratch. I did not look at Kevin's. So Kevin shot his own build instructions for this because he also found these a little difficult. I did not go cheat. I thought, well, if Kevin did it on his own, I should do it on my own too, right? This is beautiful. totally give this to the young engineer in your life, and he or she will find great satisfaction in completing this. But more than that, you spend some time sort of staring at this and playing around with it. The colored struts actually aid tremendously in understanding and visualizing some of the internal structures going on here. This is a great learning tool. I'm going to hang it from the ceiling. Well, first I have to wait for Norm to come and take a photo. That'll be our thumbnail. And then this will go up, pride of place, right here near my celestial sphere. Fawn Davis gave me that celestial sphere about 20 years ago. He didn't know that I'd always wanted one. He was just like, hey, you want that one? I'm like, yeah. Zometools, Archimedean and Platonic polyhedra. This is the longest ending I could imagine. I'm so excited about it. I don't want the video to end, but I guess it has to end someday. So you know what I need? I need right away to order a whole bunch more Zometools because I got to play around with some of my own polyhedra. Yeah, that's definitely something that will happen. Thank you guys for joining me for this beautiful kit-based one-day build. I am very happy. I hope you are too. I will see you guys next time. Oh, I have to breathe. I have to sneeze. Thank you for watching that entire video. If you'd like to support us further, you can head over to the Tested store. Links are in the comments below, and you can buy things like our demerit badges. You've heard of merit badges. These are the opposite. This one here is for measuring once and cutting twice. We went back and forth whether to measure once and curse twice, because that also happens. We went with the cut twice. And this is one of my all-time favorites. This is when you accidentally release the mysterious blue smoke that makes all electronics work, and then they no longer work. You can't release that smoke. Head over to our store, get yourself some demerit badges, and we will see you next time.